What is up, Stormtroopers? I hope you're excited. A lot of you have been messaging me through theepicstorm.com or Twitter or Facebook asking me what I'm thinking about Historic. And my answer has been very cut and dry, which is I don't really play that much Arena. I don't have wild cards. I'm not that interested, but thank you for your support. I received so many messages that I just decided I was going to drop 100 bills and buy a bunch of packs so I could open up wild cards. And honestly, I fell a few short. I had to spend a little bit more and get the last few wild cards I needed. But we have the deck. This is pretty close to what I believe to be ideal, at least for my initial list. Um, there's also a rug list right now that plays Kinnan for another legendary creature for Mox Amber, but we'll get to that in a second. So if you want to help support this video, because so many of you asked for it, and I hope that this video makes you happy. If you want to show your support for this video, please consider going to theepicstorm.com, and you can do one of two things. You can either sign up for a donation deck. We have 3 different tiers for you to choose from. You can do so at theepicstorm.com/donation decks, or you can go to the shop. And I'd highly recommend the Storm 20 baseball tee, a pint glass, or the token pack. That is how you can show your appreciation for this historic content. All right. Well, other than the cost for this deck list, I think I've got a pretty good one. I played about 6 matches last night, and they went fairly well. Mox Amber, it's one of the few accelerants in this format, and it works well with your Baral and your Birgi. You really need Birgi in order to win. Theoretically, you could just win with Baral, but it's pretty unlikely. So we have 4 Baral, 4 Birgi. Opt. Opt could be Brainstorm. You could run those. I am not, because, excuse me, we don't have any fetches. We could be playing Fable Passage instead of maybe like Riverglide Pathway, and then you could run Brainstorm. That said, Fabled Passage is a little bit slow, but ultimately I do think it's fine. It's not the worst thing that you could be running. You could also run Evolving Wilds and run a more basic land focused mana base, although it would be a little bit slower. You have more tapped lands, and I really wanted untapped lands in my mana base. So that's why I chose to run this mana base. It was carefully selected, but I made a decision not to run Brainstorm. I do plan on running Brainstorm once I get more wild cards to get the rest of them. I have 1 Brainstorm right now, and I need 3 wild cards, so I will test that at some point. But this, like, it's not like I didn't want to try Brainstorm. I chose not to run it for this video. Realistically, it came down to like Brainstorm versus Faithless Looting for me until I get more wild cards, and I think that the lootings are a little bit more valuable. And I don't know if I like tap lands, but I'm just rambling at this point. I'm going to move on. So Opt is in there, looting. Looting gets your Mind's Desire in the graveyard. Same thing with Peer into the Abyss. Peer is a card that I haven't seen in many Storm lists at all for Historic. In a lot of situations, this card is actually just better than Mind's Desire. So why aren't people playing it? Especially when everyone knows that this should be a Mizzix Mastery focused deck. So I'm running 3 copies of Peer. The downside of Peer is that it's pretty difficult to cast. So you could be running Mind's Desire to hardcast it. So that's why I'm running 4 and 3. Baral and Birgi are pretty obvious. Grapeshots are win condition. A lot of lists run 3. I'm choosing to run 2. I found that you don't actually need it for like clearing the board or anything like that. So I'm running 2. Yeah, like you could run 3, but I think if you're running 3 Grapeshot, you're losing Faithless Looting number 3 or the second Peer. And these cards are honestly just more consistent for me. Seize the Spoil and Pirate's Pillage. These cards are deceptive. These are rituals, especially in your deck with Mind's Desire where you're casting these spells for free. So this says draw 2 cards, make 2 mana. That's a pretty good card to reveal the Mind's Desire. Same thing with Seize the Spoils. That's why this is better than Tormenting Voice or something along those lines. So that's why we're running these. I think they're actually fairly solid. So the interaction with Kinnan, if you're choosing to play Rug, Kinnan makes your treasures and your Mox Ambers tap for 2 mana. So that means that this actually says make 4 mana, and this would make 2 mana, which becomes amazing. The downside is that you're running a Rug mana base, but also you're running more creatures. So you're running 12 creatures, which is just a lot. Granted, it is a little bit better for Mox Amber. The back half of Kinnian doesn't really matter. You're never going to activate for 7 mana. It's just not realistic. But is Kinnian alone worth running green? I don't know. You get Wilt in the board, but I don't know if Wilt is a card we need. So I'm a little bit hesitant on running the green splash just for Kinnian. Let me know what you think about it. It could be entirely correct. But for now, we're going to be running a Peer into the Abyss based list. And I found that Peer draws so many cards, by the way, that it honestly makes up for not having Kinnian to make your treasures better, at least in my experience. So that's the main deck. I believe I've covered everything at this point. And then in the board, I'll admit, is a little bit thrown together. So we have 2 negates, 3 copies of a Braid, 3 copies of Mystical Dispute, 2 Spell Pierce. Pierce is honestly a card that I consider playing in the main deck to go with Baral and Mox Amber, because turn 2 you play Baral, you play your Mox Amber or Mox Amber first, because then this dodges removal, and then you have Pierce to trigger your Baral into discarding Desire. That said, this line reduces your storm count, which probably makes it not ideal for the main deck, but it's just something to keep in mind. You do get something similar with Mystical Dispute in post-board games. Fry is mainly for Narset. Yeah. And you could argue that if I had a 3rd Grapeshot in my main deck, I'd be better against Narset. I'm aware. I know how to read. But we can also attack Narset with our 8 creatures. And then Crush the Weak. My fat body is covering them at the moment. We have 3 Crush the Weak down here. Those are for decks like Elves and other things. So once again, if you want to show your support, please head over to theepicfirm.com/shop and, make a purchase. But also, as of right now, when I record this video, we are 8 people short of 3,000. We are trying to hit 3,000 subscribers this month. Please give us a subscribe. It's free, and I would greatly appreciate it. Make sure to like and comment as well down below. And if you're interested, I'd highly recommend joining our social following. You can find all these links in the description below. All right, I've done enough shilling. I've introduced the deck. How about we play some matches? My goal right now is you don't play leagues on Arena, so we're just going to play some matches, see how long they take. And if it's, a decent amount of time, I'll play 5. If they're pretty short, maybe I'll play more. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. Historic content is new for me. And, yeah, let's Grapeshot some fools. Welcome to the first match. All right, we're facing Cans for Jasper. We're on the draw, and this seems like a pretty good hand to me. We have our turn 2 creature. We have a discard spell to get Appear into the Abyss or Desire into the graveyard, and then we have Mastery to, cast it. This seems like a Snapkeep to me. The only thing that could be better is if this Grapeshot was, in fact, a Pia. Alright, so we're probably playing Brawl next turn. Maybe we should be Grapeshotting. That's a pretty fast start. Alright, let's jam the Brawl. I can also seize the spoils into Grapeshot. Alright, so we're taking 7 here, going to 13. Okay. I think we should probably cast this to start. Ooh. Okay. Storm's currently 3. Storm 4. Storm 5. And then Grapeshot can be Storm 6. One, two, and then the rest at the roll ground speaker. Hopefully this bought us enough time. Next turn I'm going to cast Pirate's Pillage. Well, that was a bad move. They could have just attacked. Alright, so we'll discard the island because the Mox Amber taps for blue. Yeah, I guess we'll keep it. Need to find the appear. I think I'm going to hold these. Don't really need to cast these Seize the Spoils right now. So my opponent last turn should have attacked with Burning Tree Emissary, trying to get me to block with the Baral and then stomp the Baral. Let's see what they do this turn. Alright, well, they're not casting the Giant. So we're taking 5 here, going to 6. I mean, we need to draw something quickly. I'm going to discard Steam Vents. Mox Amber creates Storm for Desire. And there's a Desire. Okay. Costs 5, and right now we have 6. Unfortunately, I can't cast Brawl first. Actually, it looks like I can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Looks like I have 2 extra. I'm just going to cast it. Maybe I'm missing something here. But I can always Mizzix Mastery it back if this finds a mana. And it found a Mox Amber. Well, ding. I didn't hit another Mox, so we actually have to pass here. Could be dead. Am I really going to rope out right now? Oh no. Okay. I don't know what just happened. I think I selected too many. That was the issue. And now I'm dead. Uh, well, that's not a good way to start the video. It's not letting me do no blocks, so I guess it's forcing me to block and then die. Um, Yikes. First time I've had peer fail like that. Okay, probably want to braid if I had to guess. Slow them down a little bit. Maybe get rid of the lootings. Let's submit this. I do think that the board for this deck could probably use some improvement, so if you have any ideas to improve the board, I'd love to hear them. Yeah. And I mentioned them previously, but if you're interested in going to theepicstorm.com/shop to get a token pack, you get 54 storm tokens for $12. And then on the backs, you have 9 unique goblin tokens. You end up with 6 of each. And like it says, they're mini. They're half the size of a standard Magic the Gathering card. You can get those at theepicstorm.com/shop. All right, game number 2 will be on the play. Yeah, this seems great. Let's do it. Opponent has taken a mulligan. Another Mox Amber is not ideal, but we could always discard it to Pirate's Pillage. We wanted that Baral. Pretty free for the tempo here to abrade that. Unfortunately, we still need a 4th land to cast this Pillage. Now we have a pretty good card to discard. That said, with Peer in play, when you want to flashback Peer with Mizzix Mastery, it's usually best to have a Birgi. I found that's the easiest way to win. Yeah. Yikes. That lives through a braid. Alright, well, we found the land. We can cast the Pirate's Pillage. Get rid of this Pier. So we're going to 10 off after the Glorybringer attack. Yikes. I need to think about this because we'll go to 2. I'm sorry. We'll go to 4. I think I'm going to let that happen rather than sacrifice 2 mana. Well, that was a good first step. So we're dead to shock if I play the Steam Vents untapped. I guess I'm dead to shock if I peer anyway. So maybe that's just bad logic. Do I think that my opponent is playing shock? I guess it doesn't really matter. I'm going to draw an untapped land off this pier. I don't need to play a fetch land. Or not a fetch land, a shock land. Do I have an island somewhere in here? Another Mox Amber. They can stop the rope at least. I don't know if I actually hit an untapped mana source. That's fine. I can still cast the Baral. I didn't mean to click it, but it's fine. And then we can Mizzix Mastery back the Grapeshot for lethal. So one thing about running 3 Grapeshots is it does make it a little bit easier on pier, so maybe that's a reason I should run 3. So that way you're more likely to win off of a Baral. So maybe that's something I need to consider and add in the 3rd Grapeshot. Woo, woo. I love to see Grapeshot resolve. Grapeshot in all formats. I'm sorry, I know the stack is hidden behind my giant head and my sidebar, but there's a Grapeshot on the stack. You can see it. Okay. I'm not going to board. I'm going to leave it as is. I'm going to grab a drink right now, and I recommend you doing the same out of an Epic Storm pint glass. All right, on the draw. Unfortunately, we can't keep this. It's probably fine. Get rid of one of these pillages. I like the land draw. That was fine. One more land to get closer to Pirate's Pillage, which puts Mind's Desire in the bin. Or even just 2 mana to hardcast the Mind's Desire as well. Yikes. Alright, well, looks like we just lost this game. Oh, wow. Oh, that seems fair. Jeez. Unfortunately, we need our opponent not to have anything. I don't even want to say it out loud right now. That's the card I was afraid of, because that makes it a clean 2-turn clock. Well, that was not the draw we needed. I just don't think we have an out now. And that's it. So we're going to lose match number 1, unfortunately. Womp womp. Match number 2, we are on the play against Lug. And this seems fine to me. Let's lead on this Faithless Looting. Honestly, Looting's a card that I'm not convinced needs to be in the deck. I've been so impressed with these cards. Maybe this opt. Do we want opt in case we don't hit land 3? Goblins. Okay. Let's start on the opt. See if we can hit like a Mind's Desire or a Peer. Discard the Baral. I think next turn we're probably flashing back Looting. Which, honestly, I said I don't know if this deck needs it, but it's going to look pretty good here. No. Wonder if I should sacrifice this, or if I sit on it next turn, in case I draw Desire. It's probably better. Our opponent also could have attacked last turn and gotten some damage in. Like, if they swing out, I'm probably blocking the Prospector, they get 4 in, or they could have just attacked with these two and gotten in 2 free damage. Well, there's Moxus. I'm probably dead. Yep. I'm not going to make him go through that. That's fine. Here we do want to crush the weaks. So a lot of my board strategy has honestly just been boarding out the Faithless Looting. I think it's one of the weaker cards in the deck. Yeah. This deck like really wants mana. That's one of the big things. I feel like it does lack on mana a little bit. You really rely on Mox Amber and Baral, which may be a reason to try the Kinnian list. Maybe my next list will be that after I get some more wild cards. The only issue with trying out that list is it requires, I think like the bare minimum is like 10 rare wild cards because you need the 4 Kinnian and then you need the mana base. So that's something I would like to try because it just makes these cards twice as good. And I think that these are actually secretly some of the better cards in the deck. That said, if I was running Kinnian, I think it's over the Faithless Looting slot. I've actually been pretty impressed with Pier. I know it may not seem like it, but I think Kinnian would only make Pier better. I think Pier secretly a card more people should be playing. Sure. Really need to draw a red source. Boom. I think I'm just going to hold the Crush the Weak in my hand instead of foretelling it. Makes sense when I have a Baral. Hey, that was pretty good. Oh, that's annoying. Wanted my Brawl. Opponent's pretty close to Moxus. Well, yeah, they're very close now. Um, just going to pass. Really need to draw a Mastery next turn. Also, Birgi would be really good because Birgi would allow us to play a bunch of spells into possibly finding a Mizzix Mastery. Alright, so that's 5 mana. Alright, so the turn after this, they'll have Muxus mana. That's quite a bit of damage. Ugh. I think we have to discard a Mox. We have to hope that the Muxus just whiffs. Nope, and we're dead. 0-2. Jeez. Alright. The third match, we're going to see if we can actually win a match here. Hopefully that becomes a reality. We're on the draw. Honestly, I think that this hand is fine. We have Birgi, which is one of our better cards in the matchup. We have a looting that ditches 2 desires early on. We need this looting to hit lands, but it's not unreasonable. Granted, that is not what we wanted to see. Perfect. Okay. So our best draws from here are literally just Mox Ambers. So that way on turn 3 we can play a Big Desire. Interesting that they played the Faithless Haven first. This looks like we're going to have a turn 3 Desire. Come on, tap that mana. I guess they're pretty unlikely to kill Birgi. All right, Mox Amber. Come on, Mind's Desire. Come on. Why is our opponent like holding control on everything? Okay, Amber's not the worst, but we could certainly use some more expensive cards. I've also yet to reveal a Desire to Desire. And our opponent's had enough. Nice. So they're on Burn. Don't hate the Spell Pierces. Maybe the Negates. Honestly, it might not be a bad idea to just board up here. I don't want to get burned out putting that on the stack. Let's try this. It's a little bit slow, but sure. That was a good draw. So I could have, in theory, held this Baral, played the turn 3 spoils tapping out. Okay, well, that just didn't matter. Because it wouldn't have mattered on the turn after. But theoretically, you could hold the Baral for your combo turn. I like the Birgi draw. So next turn, hypothetically, okay, we can play Birgi, Steam Vents, sure. Looting was good because it's free. So I was trying to figure out if we could play any of these 4 mana spells for free, and I don't think that we can. But we can play this looting. Ooh, that was really good. Let's get rid of a Spire Bluff Canal and the Pillage. Four mana. So I can play Seize the Spoils, which will cost 2, and then I can still play Mastery. Oh, I forgot about discarding the land. Because if I don't hit a land off this, I fizzle. Alright, I'm not going to do it. Well, our opponent just hates Mind's Desire, so we got our first win. 1 and 2. Okay, the fourth match. Once again, we've opened up sort of a slow hand, but I'm going to keep it. Like, I just don't think that this is that fast of a format, so seems fine to me. Third Desire, not that good. All right. It's an interesting card. It's interesting. Looks like we're in trouble. So next turn I can Mastery into Desire, but like, what is that really doing? It's pretty good. I think I'm just going to cast Pirate's Pillage here. Not looking so good. I think this deck needs more early game interaction. Like, maybe it just has too much top. Like, I feel like in a lot of games I'm not doing anything until turn 4. Ah, crap. Okay. Let's bring in some of our counter suite. Get rid of these faithless lootings. Um, hmm. Maybe this is a spot where I realize that the board is not ideal because right now I have too many counter spells to bring in. Let's try this. Sure. Woo woo, good draw. Gonna get a little bit bold here. I'm gonna jam Birgi and attack. Um, and then after that, we can just keep on attacking and countering. I think I also really want to try this with Brainstorm. Maybe that will be my next video for Historic once I get a few more wildcards instead of building the Kinnian list. Let me know if you would rather see a Brainstorm list or a Kinnian list next. Looking for a land drop here. Alright, maybe that was dumb. Instead of just holding open double counter. Got away with it. Now I have triple counter open. You done. Blue red tempo. In general, I know I've said this once already, but I am not loving the Faithless looting so far. I do think that those can go. The nice thing about Faithless looting, though, is that um, when you're comboing with Birgi, it's a card that is literally free on your combo turn to increase storm count. Um, that said, a majority of the time I just don't like it. Um, this doesn't change the clock, so I'm okay with that resolving. Come at me. Do it. Woot woot. Alright. Won a game without comboing. Mission accomplished. Let's just resubmit. Once again, if you're interested, theepicstorm.com offers donation decks. Go to /donation decks to check that out. 3 different tiers for you to choose from. And in the 4th tier, you can even join me in the video. So make sure you read all the details and submit your deck at theepicstorm.com /donation decks. All right, so we're on the draw. This hand is a little bit questionable, the double amber. I think I'm going to ship it. This seems fine to me. Alright, so I can safely cast Baral next turn. Don't have to worry about it getting hit by Mystical Dispute. So they foretold a card. I think I'd rather hang on to the desire for possible casting. Immediately punished. But I can always just discard it with Baral as well. Get in there for that next point of damage. Come on, Mox. Do I want a desire for 3? Let's do it. Boo. Sort of a bummer. No point in casting a Desire for 1. I think maybe I want to hold these lands for the discard spells. Need to draw something. Yeah, maybe this deck just doesn't have enough one casting cost cards. Also, I only play 18 lands and I feel like I'm getting flooded. This is lethal. Womp womp. 1 and 3? Yeah, 1 and 3. Alright, last match. I'm going to call it after this one. Our opponent's on the play. This seems fine to me. We just need a discard spell for this Desire. Another thing that I'm interested in by the Kinnian list is that you can run Chromatic Star or Chromatic Sphere. I forget which one is on Arena. And that will double mana and draw a card as well, while acting like a pseudo ritual. So maybe Chromatic Spheres and Kinnians would be worth looking into. And we found our looting effect that turn for this Desire. Although I think I want to play Birgi next turn. Leave my Baral alone. Come on. Haters. Okay, so I think a land drop next turn allows us to go Birgi, Amber, Mastery, Desire. That should do it. Alright, so Pirate's Pillage costs 4, makes 3, so that leaves me 1 mana short that doesn't work. Hey, my first desired off desire. That's nice. Woo woo. Let's cast this looting. So much red mana. Add a blue here. And because I'm a little bit of a jerk, what I like doing is targeting my opponent with Pier. Why shouldn't they get to have some cards, you know? And then Grapeshot them. Like, I'm sure my opponent's like a nice person. Like, they deserve cards too. This way, we both have a nice full hand. We both got to, you know, draw some cards, play some magic, and now they're going to have some grape shots. It's just what everyone came here for, right? Yeah. Definitely want these 4 cards, I believe. Let's get rid of these lootings and maybe a Pier. No, Pier seems good. Let's try that. And once again, if you want to support this content, theepicstorm.com/shop. Game 2 on the draw. This seems fine. I'm just going to guess this now. Be lazy. Yes, another Mox Amber. I so badly wish that Explorer was in Pioneer. Come on. That's not funny. Like, this is a card I deeply wish was in Pioneer. Alright, I'm going to discard an Amber. I've also wondered about like Pact and Negation in this deck, in the sideboard, instead of some of these other counter spells. The problem is that you can only really use it on your combo turn to be effective, but when you do, it's super sweet. I think usually Spell Pierce on average tends to be a little bit better. So next turn we can play. That's fine. Vents Baral. I'm trying to figure out if I should cast this Opt. And I think the answer is no. So these two lands cast Baral. I'm just going to pass. If they're just going to leave open counter spells and removal, I'm just going to pass. I don't need to do anything here. Okay. I think we just found our window. Opponent has 4 untapped mana. Doesn't try to kill the Baral, which is interesting. So this is a little bit of a risk here. Because I'm playing it for the storm count on the Mind's Desire, but if for some reason I don't win this turn, we only have 1 Grapeshot left. Get rid of that garbage Mizzix Mastery with the Leyline in play. Ooh, yeah. Desire for 10. We did not find the Grapeshot. Hey, and we win. All right, so that's going to make our final record for this video 2 and 3, which is not that great, but a win is a win. And obviously my tier isn't that high. I don't play much arena. I played some games the other night with this list. I played 6 matches and I went 3 and 3. And woo. All right, so let's look at the deck list. Switch back over to this. Moving forward, I think I want to try No Faithless Looting. And I'd like to try Brainstorms. I think the deck just wants some smaller action. So maybe instead of Faithless Looting, like maybe cut 1 pure, put 4 Brainstorm here. It's also possible that maybe this is too many of this effect. I'm not sure. But I felt like the deck, the mana curve was really high. And maybe this wouldn't feel as high if I had Kinnian in the deck. So it's going to take some testing, figure some of this stuff out. I don't have the rare wildcards yet to play Kinnian. My apologies. But if some of you want to see that video, I'm sure it will come eventually. I have 1 wildcard right now, so I do have to build up to it, unfortunately. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry that I only went 2 and 3 for you, but it is what it is. I hope you have a great day, and let me know if you enjoyed this historic content, if I should make more of it, less of it, etc. All right, see ya. Hey, Bryant Cook here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, but also follow the social media channels down below. If you want to support this content directly, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/shop. And if you need a little bit of assistance with the Epic Storm to get to that next level, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/tutoring. Don't worry, there's more great content coming right up.